Good morning and welcome in. Dan Hardenbrook, glad to have you along. Guess what? It's finally Friday. Let's get you ready for the weekend with a look at your latest local news from around the region. It is your Newberry News Update on M123 FM. Your local news today brought to you by the Luce County Veteran Services Office. Veteran Services Officer Rick Menard is ready to serve you for all your veteran service needs. Call 293-4890. In your latest local news this morning, U.S. Senator Gary Peters from Michigan has announced the securing of commitment for timely completion of the Soo Locks construction project. During a hearing earlier this week in the Senate Appropriations Subcommittee on Energy and Water Development, U.S. Senator Gary Peters secured that commitment, which came from key U.S. Army Corps of Engineers officials that will now prioritize the timely completion of ongoing work at the Soo Locks. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is continuing to work on that new Poe-sized lock in Sault Ste. Marie. The Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy has announced 17 grant winners receiving a total of $600,000 for projects that will support watershed organizations with their conservation and educational efforts. Among the grant winners in this year's cycle is the Chippewa Luce Mackinac Conservation District. The CLM Conservation District will receive $39,999.42 as part of their ongoing work to help enhance watershed and water quality areas in the eastern Upper Peninsula. Through that program, grants are limited to $40,000 per applicant, and the projects will be completed within approximately 1 year of receiving those grants. A total of 42 applications requesting about $1.5 million were received. In response to the request for proposals, all grants are issued through Eagle's NPS program, which helps local stakeholders reduce pollution and excess runoff by supporting efforts to develop and launch watershed management plans. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources has announced the Eastern Upper Peninsula Citizens Advisory Council will schedule their next meeting on Monday. That meeting is scheduled to give an outlook on state parks in Michigan, boating access sites, and trail systems in the eastern Upper Peninsula. The DNR will also provide an update on their Wolf Abundance Trail Camera Survey and the E.U.P Deer Camp Survey as the council meets early next week. The E.U.P Citizens Advisory Council again is Monday, June 16th. The meeting will be from 6 until 8:30 p.m. at the Lake Superior State University Walker Sisler Student and Conference Center, which is located on Easterday Avenue in Sault Ste. Marie. You can get more information in the most recent edition of the Newberry News. Schoolcraft Memorial Hospital is announcing that they're now accepting more new patients to their Naubinway Rural Health Clinic. Services will be offered in multiple different areas as Schoolcraft continues to expand its services to rural communities in the central and eastern Upper Peninsula. Schoolcraft Memorial Hospital announcing that Joan Matajowski, FNP, will now begin accepting new patients later this month. Services through the Naubinway Rural Health Clinic will include law drab services, family practice visits, annual wellness exams for all ages, same-day appointments and walk-ins for acute care, diabetic visits, limited immunizations, minor laceration repair, and women's health services. The Naubinway Rural Health Clinic is located on US 2 in Naubinway. Is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, call 906-341-2153. Local organizers have announced that the annual Honoring the Waters powwow in Newberry has been postponed this weekend. The annual event is a celebration of the Native American history and culture in our community, but this year's event is being postponed due to ongoing construction at the new Elder Quadplex. Organizers say that's created safety concerns on the tribal grounds and that they are thanking the community for understanding. Organizers say that they are looking forward to rescheduling the gathering for a date later this summer. If you want more information, you can visit the Newberry Tribal Community Health Center on Zebateek Lane in Newberry. Again, this weekend scheduled honoring the Waters powwow has been postponed due to construction work. I'm Dan Hardenbrook. That is your latest local news this morning. It's your Newberry News Update on M123 FM. The news today brought to you by the Luce County Veteran Services Office. Veteran Services Officer Rick Menard proudly advocates for our area veterans. Call 293-4890 or stop by the office located inside the Luce County Government Building in Newberry. Time now to check in with sports this morning. What a difference a day makes for the Tigers. Just 24 hours after getting blown out the other night by the Baltimore Orioles, Tigers bounced back for a dominating 4-1 win. Tarek Skubal threw 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, struck out 6. Tigers scored all 4 of their runs in a big 4th inning. Dylan Dingler hit a solo shot. Then Parker Meadows capped it off with a 3-run bomb as the Tigers go to 45-25 on the season. The Stanley Cup playoffs continue to be excellent. The finals now tied at 2 games apiece. Edmonton Oilers beating Florida on the road in overtime in Game 4, taking it 5-4. Panthers looked like they were going to run away with the contest. They scored 3 goals in the first period for the Oilers rallied back for 5 of the next 6, including 3 of their own in the second period. Again, the Stanley Cup Finals tied 2 games apiece. Your latest local weather forecast for the weekend. Slight chance of showers, mainly this afternoon. Cloudy with a high in the upper 50s. East winds 5 to 10. For your Saturday, showers, thunderstorms also possible. Cloudy, highs in the mid-60s. Sunday, mostly cloudy, a high near 70. I'm Dan Hardenbrook. That's your latest news, sports, and weather. It is your Newberry News Update on M123 FM.
Attention veterans and their families. The Luce County Veterans Services Office is here to support you with a wide range of services. We assist with VA healthcare eligibility, compensation claims, counseling services, benefit coverage, state and county emergency relief funds, and more. Contact your Luce County Veterans Services Officer, Rick Menard, at 906-293-4890. The Luce County Veterans Services Office, proudly supporting our community's veterans.